I have to be honest. I've got to come clean about the maintenance and ownership of the Cayenne. For those of you who are new here, welcome. I'm Mex and this is my 2004 Cayenne Turbo. I've had this Cayenne for a little over a year and a half, and I bought it of an old man. He had it for 12 years before me. I'm the fourth owner. And so like I said, I want to be honest about just the Cayenne, the ownership experience, the reliability and the maintenance. I think these cars get a really bad rep, and I want to talk about it. I want to be honest. From an ownership point of view, like I said, I've owned it a little over a year and a half. I've put 7,000 miles on it. I live in London, so those miles have been very varied. A lot of London miles, but also a lot of road trip miles, so long distance miles and so on. So I want to go through, first of all, address sort of the common issues and the maintenance of the vehicle. Like I said, these cars get a really bad rep, and there is a bit of a reason, and I want to go through it. I got the car, the guy had it for 12 years before me. That's what made me feel really confident to get a train up to Leeds, one-way ticket from London to Leeds, to go and pick it up, because anybody that's had a car for 12 years more than likely has looked after and cared for it. Secondly, he bought a 958 Cayenne Turbo in black to replace this, so it's like for like, and this had been sitting for about 6 to 9 months, where he would just start it up once a month and so on, because he bought his other one. So it's not like he needed to get rid of this one to buy the other one. It just felt fine. I turned up, there is an old boy. Like I said, all good, no red flags. Service history in this was great. So what bits did he do? Most importantly, and one of the most common issues with these, is the water pipes, from the coolant water pipes that sit in the hot V. Porsche made them out of plastic on these, and I think in the 957 they were replaced by aluminium ones, which is great. So also all the T junctions on the back of the engine on these were made of plastic. Now this has had those changed, so that's a really big job, really important job, and he's had those done. He also had the air suspension compressor change, which is again another good one. He had a new prop shaft, a whole prop shaft replaced, because these suffer, again, common fault on these is the bush of the prop shaft in the middle where the bearing is. It wears out. It's just nowhere near tough enough for the power and the weight of the vehicle. And as well as servicing, obviously he kept it serviced, and tires. So this came to me with good tires, good Pirellis. He didn't really do much mileage, so I picked this up with 98,000 miles. I think it was like 10 miles short of 98,000 miles. So I picked this up with, like I said, just short of that since I got it. Now, right, it's a good example. I paid good money for it, and I don't feel like it wasn't worth it. I feel what I paid, having hunted around for so long, was worth. I think the car, in the condition I got it, was worth what I paid. Right, it's a lot of car for the money, but I looked at $3,000 and $5,000 cars, and there was too many red flags. There was gaps in servicing. There wasn't proof of things being done. It's a really nice spec. It's exactly what I wanted. So first issue with it, I don't know, a week after having it, water leak. So, well, if he's done the back junctions and the water pipes in the V, it can't be that. What else could it be? Common problem on these as well is the expansion tanks. They are two halves glued together and they split. First thing I did was change the expansion tank. And as soon as I got to it and I took it out, I could see the watermarks at the back. So from the front you couldn't see it, by the back against the bulkhead you could see it. So that's that. I changed it. But in the process, we got to take out a whole bunch of stuff on the side. One of them being the torque arm. When I took that out, I realized the bush and the torque arm was just rotten, gone. So power flex do an insert, done, perfect. So at this point, I've done that. Again, I kept, like I said, I had to jump the car there, so the battery was just, even after that long drive, it was very, very weak. So I put a brand new battery in it, not just any battery, an AGM. And yes, they cost more money, but it's the peace of mind that a car like this, with all the electrics and everything you ask for, air suspension, whatever, it's not going to have an issue. This fucking guy was coming the wrong side of the road. As well as that, when I was changing the battery, which is under the seat, I realized that the carpets are really wet. The car had been sitting for a while, so it's actually soaked, which is another common problem underneath the carpets. So I had to dry that out. It took me ages lifting carpets, changing microfibers, bunch of microfibers every day, drying it out. And again, a common problem is that the water outlets get blocked with leaves, with shit, with whatever, and they flood, which they did, and they flow back into the cabin. It's often not something you often see in London, so sort of car meet or car catch up at the petrol station. Check this S2000. You don't really see them now, but they're pretty sick. I still had a bit of a hum. I still had no leaks, car drove fine, but actually I realized I had a bit of a knock again. So I looked into it, and that prop shaft that he'd put 2-3 years previous was already, the bush was already ripping. So that was another job. I carried that job out and I put a anyway, bush support and mount. Expensive but well worth the money, bolt on, really easy, really quickly done, and actually much better than any of the OE options, which would have been to replace the whole prop shaft again. But there's nothing wrong with prop shaft, all the bearings, just the bush around it. Anyway, common knowledge. I've done a video on it, and there's lots of videos out there if you're interested in that. So after that, obviously I've done servicing. I did a full service obviously in the vehicle with a correct oil, which is, I put 540 in it, and a Porsche grade 540, a Mobil 1, man filters, oil filter and whatever. Because actually I think these are a 030 recommended, or 040. Anyway, put 540 in it. You just want it a bit thicker. Size of the engine and the age and whatever. You just want to put as much lubrication through it. If the oil's too thin, these cars run really hot as well. You're just stressing the engine out. You're just asking for problems. And this is why I think there was issues originally with the fear of bore score. Happened more in the natural aspirated than on the turbos, but it's because Porsche originally, one, oil too thin. Secondly, they run really hot. Thirdly, they were on like 2-year service intervals. Yeah, no good. Yearly service intervals, got to be good oil and a good grade. 540. You know, if you understand oils, you understand that. But yeah. So other common issues that are still to do in this: the boot struts. Well-known issue. So the boot struts on these are an absolute ball leg. You gotta drop the headliner. You gotta do like their ball leg, because they're not a typical boot strut that goes from the D pillar to the boot. They're hidden within the roof of the car, so you don't actually see them. So yeah, complicated. And they're a 2-piece because they're split tailgate. So there's the glass. So the glass has 2, and then the boot lid has 2. So it's 4 in total. You gotta swap. You gotta do those. When I first got it, there was a tiny little, another common issue, which is leaky rocker cover gaskets. Most V8s do it, you know, with this age, and Porsche is very, you know, notorious for it. This had a tiny little leak when I first got it, but now it's got big. So now I need to do them. I'm going to take over to ProMod for him to do it in the next month or so, because now that it's summer, it's getting hot, and you can really, you can really smell it. It's not nice, and it's also not safe. So last week, the front pad warning sign came out, and they're squeaking a bit, so I need front pads. I've got a rear brake light bulb out, minor stuff that's gone out. I want to put my windscreen washers on, and these cars have headlight washers as well, so they lift up and spray the headlights because they're Xenons. So anyway, I did that, and the headlight washer just flew out with a cap, so I'm missing a cap and headlight washer. With the TT, I had the same issue. With the Merc, got the same issue, so I might just bypass the headlight washers. I've lowered the car as well and put wheels on it. I didn't mention that because it's not part of the maintenance or whatever. I think it just looks better. I've put a bigger profile tire as well with a new wheel, so I went for a 275 520, so 275 40. It rides better and it feels the arch gap better. But anyway, I need to get the tracking, so my tracking's out. Not a common problem, but an issue with it is the AC all of a sudden started blowing warm, typical just in time for summer. I went to have it regassed. Apparently, they need regassing. So the issue is obviously the sensor, but to get to the sensor, you got to take the wiper arms off cowling and get to it. And a common issue with these is wiper motor. So the wiper motors on these are dog shit, and they're a common failure point. And guess what? This one's a failure point as well. So you can just tell one nut is loose, and what happens? They just fail. They're white, sort of fine on the passenger side, fine on the, because they're nuts loose. But anyway, so that's going to be an issue. So I'm going to have to do the sensor and the windscreen wiper mechanism at the same time. Reverse sensors don't work. Also a common issue with these because of where the ECU for the reverse sensors sat. It's in a really low point by the headlight. So if there's any water leakage from blocked drains or from a headlight, they went on the. So I bought replacement ECU. It still hasn't solved it, so I'm guessing there might be a broken wire along the line somewhere, so I need to investigate that. That's not a common issue, but that's an issue with this one. So ownership experience, it's been great, it's been reliable, I really enjoy it, I feel safe, car's fast. However, obviously the underlying issue with all of this is the maintenance. Maintenance is just a kick in the nuts. So we've gone through it, and you know, just find yourself a good mechanic, a garage that's not going to rip you off or get involved with the process like I have. Obviously I document it, you know, a bit of a mix, and you'll be fine. A lot of garages are scared to work on these. I don't understand why, but they just are. So they'll charge you a lot, or they'll just won't. As well as that, the other next biggest issue is the fuel economy. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's so bad. Nothing should be this bad on fuel. 100-litre tank. I've done 2 fuel economy runs, 2 videos, slightly different but slightly similar. Go and watch them if you're interested in that. But so bad. 100-litre tank and 350 miles max out of it. But realistically, in real life, that's squeezing it out, right? But in real life, you definitely drop below 300. So 280, 290. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous that a car can be that bad on fuel. However, I really like it. I feel safe. It's comfortable. It's fast as fuck. I'm really happy with it. Like I said, the key is get the right base, well looked after, and you just carry on looking after it, carrying on looking after the maintenance, carry on just getting over the common faults. Once you get over that, they're a known quantity, so that's really good. Like any other car, bits and bobs come out, like my bearing, forgot to mention it, but bearing went out. That's not common at all on these, but bearing went out. Promo did it for me. Like I said, get yourself a good garage, be prepared to get stuck in yourself a little bit, and yeah, just enjoy them. They're great. They get a really bad rep, but I don't think they should. I think they get a bad rep because people see that there are some cheap examples out there, and they're cheap for a reason, and they get stung. Or they don't buy a cheap one, they buy a expensive one, which is a good one, well looked after, and then expect it to need no maintenance. Like I said, they're a known quantity now. Common issues are common. If you address these common issues, the likelihood, and then you keep maintaining it, you look after it, the likelihood is you'll not really have any other issues. Now and again things come, obviously they go through brakes and tires, like a lot. Bushes, arms, this has had bushes and arms before me from the old guy as well, I forgot to mention. But yeah, so overall, good base. Be prepared to just get a good garage or get stuck in yourself. Fuel was absolutely fucking terrible, but they're fun. I think they've aged really well. I really like it. And if you get the right spec and the right one, they're just nice cars. Munch miles, like literally Munch. Such a good motorway cruiser. I'd love to go into the continent in this. I might plan a road trip, because it just sits at 5 over speed limit, let's say, so comfortably. On my way back from Ultimate Dubs earlier on this year, down the M40, I was moving extremely comfortably, you know, and absolutely loved it. But yeah, so would I recommend these? Yes, I would recommend these to my best friend. I recommended it to my brother-in-law. He bought Turbo S, as I mentioned earlier on. But anyway, I recommend it to anybody that's prepared to get into one, get a good base, deal with the known issues, and then after that, just enjoy it. Like I said, be prepared to pay for the maintenance, be prepared to pay for the fuel. If you're prepared to pay for that, you won't get, then they're a good car. They get a bad rep because people buy them cheap and expect them to be cheap to run. They're not cheap to run. They were an expensive car once upon a time, so they're still going to be an expensive car to maintain now, whether it's from just fuel or fuel and maintenance. So be prepared for those things. Get yourself a Cayenne, a 955, 957, especially a turbo. Absolute dream. I love mine. If you're here still, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. Go and check my other Cayenne videos out. Make sure you subscribe, because I'm gonna do a video when I do the tailgate struts, probably in the next couple of days. So yeah, thanks for watching. Peace.
Stay